Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, a certified consulting hypnotist and a life coach. And every Saturday afternoon at 2:30 Central Time, I make a short 5 or 10 minute video about some aspect of the hypnotic arts and sciences or life coaching. Today, I'm going to talk about grit and failure, so more on the life coaching side. This is take 2 for this video. I actually tried to record it last week, and I got to the end of it and realized that while the audio had been recorded, the video never made it. It froze. Something went wrong on Facebook. Now, I often maintained the metaphysical belief that the universe is constructed to maximize irony. So, you want to do a video on failure, what happens? The video fails. It's like, the one day you don't back up your hard drive, that's when it's going to crash. The universe maximizes irony. But I'm going to try it again, and with luck, we'll get this video done. I want to talk about what I've learned about these two things, grit and failure. Now, first, there's a truism. You only fail when you give up. Up to the moment when you give up, you're not failing, you're attempting to succeed. So there's a lot to be said for trying hard to achieve what it is you want to achieve, understanding that many journeys are not easy ones. Psychologists in positive psychology talk about a concept called grit, G-R-I-T. What they mean by grit is the ability to pursue a long-term goal in the absence of any external reinforcement. Now, I feel that I have grit. I come from a family that is something of a train wreck, and I received no encouragement at all from my family to educate myself and to excel, and they really don't quite know what to do with me given how I've turned out, because their script for me was that I would be a janitor at a bakery the many members of the family worked for. So I pursued my goal with no reinforcement from anyone except me and whatever spiritual powers I'm in touch with through my spiritual life. But in the process of pursuing those goals, I've had failures. Everyone does. The human nervous system learns by trying things and then discovering what doesn't work. It isn't that you try something and it just succeeds. That's very rare. Usually you have to make a couple of attempts at just about everything for things to fall into place, and sometimes a lot more than just a couple of attempts. So here are some rules that I have evolved for myself about living in a world where failure is unavoidable. First, live intentionally. Don't set goals for yourself that you don't really want, that other people want. Other people will have a wonderful plan for your life, but the important plan is the one that you have for your life. When I felt my call to ministry and retrained and became a minister, I wanted to do a ministry in religion and health as a clinical pastoral educator or a board-certified chaplain or something in healthcare, especially if it involved hypnosis, which I had loved since childhood. But everyone around me was saying, no, that's just not practical. No one's going to respect someone with who's a minister in the healthcare field, and now you got to go into parish ministry. And so I let them set that goal for me, become a successful parish minister. And I did that. I served 2 churches over a 13-year period, a small church for 3 years and a large church for 10. They said they were sorry to see me go, but I finally got to the point where I realized that while I was doing it okay, I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't living out the intention that's in my own life. I wanted to do what's called community ministry in an area of religion and health. And I succeeded the moment I tried. Now, I didn't fail as a parish minister, but I would have been much happier if I had set the proper goal from the get-go. Now, the second rule I have is be willing to reevaluate your goals on the basis of new information going forward. If experience teaches you that the goals you set actually had unintended consequences, or there were things about them that you weren't aware of, be willing to decide to release that goal. Now, I entered the culinary union at the age of 15, and I would work a number of stations in professional kitchens. I did 4 years as an apprentice and 5 as a journeyman. And I liked being a cook and a chef. To this day, I am a very, very committed foodie, and I cook all the food in our household. But I realized as I was pursuing that while there were many things about it I really liked, the work of a chef is a difficult life. You're working long hours on your feet in volcanic heat. You're working far into the evening. It's going to be impossible to have any kind of relationship with another human being who isn't also in the culinary industry. And that was not what I wanted for myself. And so I felt my call to ministry. I went back to school and I retrained. So live intentionally, be willing to reevaluate. The third rule is be motivated by what you love instead of what you fear. Everything we do is motivated by something we love, we want for ourselves in a positive sense, or to avoid something bad that we're afraid might happen. I see this often with newly minted consulting hypnotists. They're motivated as they set up their practices not by the love of the hypnotic arts and sciences, but by the fear that they're not going to earn enough to pay their mortgage. And you see, when what you do is motivated by fear, by what you're afraid will happen, people can tell, and they're repelled by it. If what you do is firmly based on what you love, people are attracted to that. Self is always more attractive than non-self. If you've got your act together, that draws things to you with a kind of spiritual magnetism. Fourth thing would be keep track of what you're learning. If you fail to achieve a goal, you still have learned a lot. You learn what doesn't work. You learn a lot about yourself and your larger perspective and about what you really want. Those are things you can celebrate. And then you can put those to use in deciding what to do next. The final rule I have beyond live intentionally, be willing to reevaluate, be motivated by what you love instead of what you fear, keep track of what you're learning. The final thing is don't ruminate. Don't go over and over and over the things you tried and didn't work. Focus on what was successful, always remembering that the most important thing is not what happened in the past, but what you're going to do next. And if you keep focused on what you're going to do next, that you will love, that takes into consideration everything you've learned from, that you're prepared to evaluate going forward, and really matches what you want for yourself, that's the key to grit. Thank you very much for your attention. Let's hope this video went well this week. I'll be back next week talking about how to change your mind. And I think you might find that interesting. And if you are, please feel free to join me. I always put these videos up on my YouTube channel, although there'll be an announcement on my Facebook feed. And you can access my YouTube channel through my website, which will appear on the slide that will follow once I've edited this video. As always, if I can be of help to you in understanding how consulting hypnotism or the kind of hypnotic coaching that I do can be of help to you and help you become the best version of yourself, feel free to reach out. Take care and do well.